I think we are live. Hello everyone and welcome back to the GT Sport League Season 5, round number 2 here at Lago Maggiore, and we have 2 races here tonight. A new, different concept that we're trying for this season, the final season on this game before we head over to the new Gr4 7 dropping early March. We've got 2 races at Lago Maggiore, one in the east variant and one in the west. That basically splits up the track in half from its original layout. You can see here Duchy going down what would be the back straight, but then soon becomes the final corner, which leads on to the start-finish straight, which could be a key overtaking opportunity throughout the race. Alternatively, for the west layout, we ignore the first sector, or the first 2 sectors of this track, and we turn right before turn 3 on this layout, and we use the second half of the track, which includes the banked corner. You'll see if you're unfamiliar with these 2 layouts, it will become really apparent in the next few minutes. But we've got 2 10-minute qualifying sessions followed by 2 30-minute races. Obviously that will take place in order, 1 qualifying session, 1 race, and then we'll head over to the west variant. Duchy is at the head of the train, and for this track, or for this round even, we're in Group 4. If you watched last week's race, we were in Super Formula, which are basically slower F1 cars, so about 2014 F1 cars in terms of pace. But now we're in Group 4, and it's a free choice of car for this week's race. Everyone can choose any Group 4 they liked. We've got quite a nice mix of cars on the grid. To go through them, we've got Duchy in the Ferrari, Finn in the Alfa Romeo, Aston in the Toyota, we've got Toussaint in the Renault, we've got Tiger in the Aston Martin, Tobster in the Renault, Wolfie in the Ferrari, Pierre in the Renault, the Scout Dan is in the Toyota, Bon Evil's in the Renault, Webb Simpson's in the Ferrari, Tim in the Toyota, and Ted in the Ferrari. So we've got a nice mix of cars, and speaking of, those cars are about to finish their first flying lap. Let's play Duchy, who goes provisional pole by 2/10 with a 1:22.9. We've got a few more lap times coming in, but we've got some interesting, different, diverse strategies for this race. You can see the lap times flooding in on the left-hand side. It's currently a Duchy Finn front row down with a 26.2, Webson's a 24.8, and Tim with a 36.7, but I'm sure he can definitely go quicker than that. Currently down in 12th place. A mix of drivers on the softs, super softs and the mediums, but you only have to use 2 different tyre compounds during the race, and in the race it's only 30 minutes long. Tyres is on ×5 degradation, so they should last probably half the race, dependent on obviously what tyre you're on. The mediums being the slowest but the most durable, and the super softs being the complete opposite, the fastest tyre but the ones that wear out quicker. Hello BCR Esports in the chat, welcome Black Country. As Duchy still ahead on track, is ahead in the qualifying session. I haven't actually checked to see if my audio is all okay, so I hope it is. But coming around the final corner now for the second time in the qualifying session. Hello Unique J in the chat. Play Duchy up to the line, and can he beat his 22.9? He's on a set of the soft compound tyres and beats it by a 10th. I don't think Finn was improving. Aston does improve, goes up into 5th place. Toussaint improves, consolidates 3rd position, but look how close the gaps are. 5/10, 8 thousandths between Pierre and Aston, as the Frenchman puts his car in 5th place, just about. Tobster improving, goes up into 9th place ahead of Bon Evil. Tim improves and goes into 5th behind Tiger Assassin, 2/10 between the 2 drivers. Only 5 minutes left in qualifying, as we do only have a reduced 10-minute session for this race before we head over to the west variant of this track. If you're just tuning in, we've got 2 races here at Lago Maggiore, one in the east and one in the west. For those who are unfamiliar with this track, the whole circuit is practically split in half, east being the first sector, the first 2 sectors, and the west variant being the final 2 sectors of the original track. A few more drivers going through the S's section. As you can see, there's a barrier that's stopping the drivers from going down the hill in towards the famous banked hairpin, because it leads straight onto the final corner and the start finish straight. An extended run down towards turn 1 might catch people out when we head over to the other side. Finn on a set of super softs comes into the pits. Dutchy on a set of the softs. 2 Saint pits, Aston pits, Tiger Saturn also comes into the pits. And with 4 minutes left to go, you would think this would be the one and only pit stop they do in qualifying. Bon Evil also into the pits. I think we're going to be at that phase in qualifying where everyone has dived into the pits for a fresh set of tyres. The Scout Dan, however, is on an outlap, running a very NASCAR-themed Toyota livery with a big number 18 on the side. He will be the next driver to set a flying lap. So, with the Brit, I think it's only fair we get an on-board lap. From the Toyota, I think 2 or 3 drivers have opted for the Toyota in this Group 4 category, which we'll use for this race and for this round only. The Scout down though on the mediums gets a good run from the final corner and will cross the start-finish line now. In the run down towards turn 1, looking out for his braking point. Roughly just after the 100-metre board on the right-hand side. He hits the apex up nicely on the inside, doesn't go too deep, pulls over to the left-hand side to get a good run in for turn 2. Snap of oversteer on exit before bringing it over to the right-hand side of the track, using as much curb available to him on the inside. Lifts off, he runs a little bit deep into the left-hander, maybe not turning in as earlier as he was hoping for. Uses all the curb available on the outside of the track, and the run down towards turn 5, a key overtaking opportunity. Heavy braking zone, braking kind of as the curb stops on the left. You don't want to use too much of that orange sausage curb on the inside. Runs a little bit onto the curb, but that's not too bad. Brings it back over to the inside. Start of the S's. The technical sector, you can go wheel to wheel through the sector. It is certainly possible, but we might not see too many overtaking happening here. Uses all the curb available on both the in and outside of the S's. The fast flat out right-hander, which leads into the penultimate corner of this track, braking at the 100-metre board. A little bit of a wider line, you don't want to turn in too early, otherwise you won't get a good run through the final corner. It's a fairly long-ish run up to the line, but what is it going to be from the Scout Dan? Can he improve on his 1 minute 26.2 and promote himself higher than 12th? Improves in his time and is 900ths off of Wolfie in 11th. Play Dutchy though is on a lap. We're going to just go down to some of the guys going down the start-finish straight to see if we can get some sector splits, and I wasn't able to catch anyone's sector splits, but Dutchy is head of the train in this qualifying session, using all the curbs available through the S's. Only 1.5 minutes left to go and is purple by 3 thousandths as Ted improves and sets a 1 minute 24.4. What can the Dutchman do in the Ferrari 458? There's only one corner to go, or one proper corner to go, before the run up to the line. Hasn't gone wide on exit, hasn't gone too deep, which is so easy to do, especially when going for a move. Up to the line on a fresh set of the softs. Does he improve? He does improve. It's only by 3 thousandths, but improvement nevertheless. Aston promotes himself up into the 6th place ahead of Piero with that lap, a 23.7. What can Toussaint and Finn do? Finn improves in the Alfa Romeo, closes down the gap as a Tiger Assassin goes ahead of his teammate, a 10th ahead and a 10th behind the rivals around him. Tim improves, goes up into 5th place, a 10th separating him and Toussaint, and Piero behind only 800ths. Ahead of the Frenchman. Webson's improves, goes up into 11th position in the Ferrari. Someone's coming across the line, not too sure who that is. I think it's Wolfie. Where is Wolfie? Currently in 12th place, then it could have been Wolfie in the run up to the line. We'll be able to see if he improves. We've got the final laps though here in qualifying. It's been a very quick qualifying session, reduced qualifying for the new concept we are trying this season. Play Dutchy is currently set to take 2 poles in a row, and he's 2/10 purple through the middle sector. This could be a really good lap from Play Dutchy. He's on the soft compound tyres. I don't know what his competitors are on. I know we've got a mix of soft mediums and super softs. The checkered flag has been waved, and it's going to be the Dutchman to cross the line first. Someone has gone off through the S's, but we'll keep on board with Play Dutchy. The checkered flag has been waved. Does he set a new fastest time? He does by 2.5 tenths and extends his gap out in front to 4 tenths. Aston doesn't improve as he crosses the line sideways in what will be a highest 7th place for now. Tiger and Toussaint cross the line respectively. Neither of them improve. Does Finn improve? He doesn't improve either. What about Topster? He doesn't improve. Bon Evil. Nobody is improving on their final lap in qualifying. What about Webson's in 11th? Does he improve? He doesn't improve. Is anyone going to improve? Piero's not going to improve. What about Tim? Does he improve? Only Play Duchy was able to improve. We've still got cars to come across the line. We've got Ted on his final lap. I don't think Wolf improved. Dan didn't improve either. Is anyone going to improve? All eyes turn on Ted as he's now going round to the final corner, or approaching the final corner, I should say. Can he be the second driver to improve in this qualifying session? The first one was Play Duchy. No one else found time on the final lap. But what about Ted? Currently in 10th place. Can he jump ahead of Bon Evil? Not quite. He doesn't improve either. So nobody improved on their final laps. And it's going to be Play Duchy who starts this one on pole position. And he's going to have Finn alongside him in second place. Tiger Assassin will have his teammate for company in 4th place alongside him on the second row of the grid. Tim will start in 5th position ahead of Piero, who starts ahead of Aston, who's ahead of Topster and Bon Evil. Ted is the leading Irishman ahead of Webson's Wolfie and the Scout Dan. 2 races here tonight, and the first one's about to get underway here at Lago Maggiore, but in the East variant. The lights are counting down for the first time this evening. We've got 5 red lights. And it's the lights out, and away we go, and it's a good start from Play Duchy off the line. Finn, though, in the Alfa Romeo, does get a good launch and pulls alongside the Dutchman going in towards turn 1, looking further down. We've got Bon Evil sending one down the inside, Piero to the outside of Tim, and Ted making a few positions off the line, up into 10th, battling with 9th place. Finn trying to get his way past Dutchy in the run down towards turn 3 and 4, as Aston is on the inside of Ted. These two going wheel to wheel through the first sector. Webson's Wolfie and the Scout down 3 wide, as the Scout down with a switchback move on Wolfie. Can he get Webson's as well on the exit of the corner? In the run down towards turn 5, you can see a few cars going wheel to wheel. The majority, though, single file as they approach the first heavy braking zone of the evening. That is Ted battling away with Aston in the battle for 9th place. They're going wheel to wheel on the exit of the corner. Toyota versus Ferrari. Which one's going to come out on top? Aston with the inside, but Ted has to back out in that scenario. He might try and set himself up, though, to move going into the final corner with a few switchbacks and some good runs. Dutchy with a 7/10 lead already ahead of Finn, who is on a set of super soft. Tiger pulls over to the inside in the Aston Martin, but nothing doing it there. What about Aston and Ted? What about Wolfie on Webson's, as these two going 2 by 2 in the run down towards the final corner? Wolfie down the inside. I don't think he's got the move done. He's still going wheel to wheel with Webson's on the end of the corner. Ted going side by side with the Scout down, but we turn our attention back up to the front because Tiger is going down the inside of Finn towards turn 3. He couldn't quite at turn 1, so he couldn't quite make the move done as Webson's down the inside of Aston. I think there was contact there between those two. Wolfie kind of almost got pushed out onto the grass. These 4 or 5 having a really nice battle for 9th place. They've been dropped by Bon Evil 2 seconds now as the gap between those guys. Wolfie and Webson's now going side by side. Dan trying to capitalise and go down the inside of Webson's. I think there was contact once again. Toussaint looking for a move on the inside of his teammate, has a 5/10 penalty, or had a 5/10 penalty. He's been able to serve 3/10 of it. You can see on the minimap the gap opening up between the back of the pack. Ted and Bon Evil, that gap between 8th and 9th place. The advantage out in front though, it's already 1 second. Finn in the Alfa Romeo can't quite get the super softs just up to temperature, up to speed as Dutchy can with the softs. Let's get all the telemetry and the tyre info up on the screen so we can see what tyres everyone's using. It's mediums for Bonnie, Topster and Tim, but I believe the top runners are all on softs apart from Finn, who's on a set of super softs. That looks like it's Tim and Piero now fighting away for 5th place. You can see the battle going on in the background. Wolfie getting ahead of Aston through the final corner, now has his teammate ahead of him in 9th place. Is he going to go for a move? No, I think he's just going to tuck in behind for now. Finn's gone deep into towards turn 1. That could set Tiger up for a move. He's going to try a little bit of a switchback on the exit. Finn's run wide onto the grass. Tiger Assassin around the outside. Can he make this move stick? They're going to go wheel to wheel through turn 3 in towards turn 4. Tiger's going to have the inside line. You'd think he would get this one done. Forces Finn off the track. Toussaint almost follows him through, but they're going to go wheel to wheel, door to door in the run down towards turn 5, and you'd think Tiger ahead with the inside is going to get this one done, but keep an eye out for Toussaint, who sends one down the inside of the German. In the Italian Alfa Romeo, they're going to go wheel to wheel on the exit of the corner. The Alfa Romeo just has such a good drive, taking the wider line. Into the S's they go for the third time this evening. Toussaint and Finn going wheel to wheel. Finn sending one down the inside. Can Toussaint hold this one around the outside? They're still going to go wheel to wheel through the entirety of the S's. Finn runs over the slotted curb a little bit, but these two have been wheel to wheel since sector 1. Amazing racing between the Brits and the German. Toussaint though with the inside line going into the final corner. You'd think he'd get this one done. Indeed he has, but for how much longer? Because Finn is going to have the slipstream on the Renault Megane, and Toussaint's not going to get the toe of Tiger Assassin just as powerful as he did hope for. Finn's going to try and send one down the inside. Toussaint's going to try and hold it for the inside of turn 2. Finn's going to have to work his way, go around the long way, so he needs to get this move done. And this has allowed Piero and Tim to catch up to the battle for the final podium position. Points on offer for both races here tonight, and you can see how much that's cost Toussaint. He's already 2 seconds behind his teammate, who's now hunting down your race and championship leader. On board and looking behind from the rear wing of Toussaint, you can see Finn pulling over to the inside, and he goes for it down the inside. There might have been contact. It looked like the rear stepping out on that Renault Megane, as the other Renault of Piero is getting quite involved in this battle. He's trying to make his way past Finn's Alfa Romeo. 3 very different cars battling for third position as Finn looking for a move on the inside. Toussaint, I think, ran a little bit deep into turn 6, or turn 7 even. They make their way through the exits of the S's and the run down towards the final corner to start at the back straight, cut short by the 180 degree right-hander. And hello and welcome everyone who is tuning in to this race here at Lago Maggiore. Piero's got a really nice run. If it could look forward, that would be appreciative. There we go. Is he going to go down the inside of Finn? He's not quite close enough to send one. Toussaint still able to maintain third position for now. Let's have a look down towards the battle for 10th place between Aston and Ted. Aston sending one down the inside of Wolfie, sorry, not Ted. Ted up in 9th place. We have a look back up to the battle for 3rd place. Toussaint running a little bit wide onto the curve. That could give Finn a run down the back straight. The Alfa Romeo, not the quickest car in the Group 4 class of cars. And we'll just have to stay behind for now. Looking back at the battle between Aston and Wolfie, in the battle for 10th place, it looks like the Toyota has come out on top in that battle. 5 laps into this race, and Dutchy has a 4.2 second lead over Tiger Assassin in 2nd place, and his teammate Toussaint currently in 3rd place, scoring some good constructors points for the team. Piero consolidating 5th place, meaning both constructors will score highly at the end of this race. Finn going to look to send one down the inside of Toussaint into the final corner, and he's got the move done late on the brakes in the Alfa Romeo. Finds himself on a podium position. Just looking back to see if Wolfie was close enough to Aston to go for a move. Is Toussaint close enough to Finn to go for a move in towards turn 1? Not on this occasion. What about tops it on Bon Evil, the 2 Renault Meganes battling away for 7th place. As we're currently 8 minutes into the opening race. We've got 2 races on offer tonight. One of them at this track, one of them at the on the other side. Essentially, Lago Maggiore East and West are the 2 host tracks for today's race. You can see on the minimap the advantage Play Dutchy has already after only 8 minutes in the Ferrari. Tiger Assassin in the Aston Martin will be doing his best to try and close down that gap, but it's not going to be easy. Finn's ran wide through the exit of turn 5, and that's going to allow Toussaint to send one down the inside, and he gets his way up into 3rd place. And mistake from Finn costing him the position. A similar mistake to the one he made back in season 2, I think it was, when we were in the Group 3 cars. Except this time he's not sideways, backwards and in the barrier, but he's got a good run through the S's section. He's alongside the Englishman. It's going to have to be a move around the outside if he's to make this one. He's taken a really wide line onto the marbles. but he's going to get a good run in towards turn 1 as Toussaint runs wide. Piero though with the inside line, he's got to run on the Alfa Romeo down towards the first corner. Is he close enough though to go for a move? Riding on board, doesn't brake. Later you can see Finn almost making contact with the Renault in front of him, the car his teammate drove last season when we were in the Group 4 class of cars. But this time out he's opted for the Alfa Romeo, the one that in Group 3 seemed to be fairly dominant when Dutchy and Wolfie were behind the wheel. As we look to see if there are any battles. We've got a nice one forming for 11th place with Wolfie ahead of the Scout Dan and Websons. We'll keep an eye on that as the race goes on. 10 minutes into the opening race and we've got 20 left to go before we get the second race underway. Another 10-minute qualifying. As Bon Evil just getting a 7/10 gap out to Topser, just enough to pull him out of the real slipstream range. Finn is closing on Toussaint through the SS section. It looks like that Alfa Romeo is good through the technical sections. The Renault Megane seems to favour acceleration through slower corners. Toussaint goes defensive to the inside. Can Finn hold this round the outside? No, not quite, but he's going to try a switchback move on the exit of the corner. He hasn't quite pulled it off though. A little bit of a tank slapper on the rear, costing him time going down the start finish straight. It's currently Play Dutchy who owns the fastest lap of the race with a 1 minute 22.8. And a quick reminder of the rules for this race. The super soft, and mediums are the available tyres, but you only have to use 2 different tyre compounds. As Webson's going to go for a move down the inside of the Scout down. He's going to try and put his front bumper in on the inside, goes over the curb, makes a little bit of contact with the Ferrari, but maintains 12th place for now. We go back up to the battle for 3rd place, and Toussaint's just able to keep the gap at a suitable margin to keep him ahead of Finn. But going into the SS section, this is where the Alfa Romeo seems to capitalise, or it could be the super soft tyres that are equipped onto the Alfa Romeo. Websons and Dan fighting for the last point available from this race. The points going from 1st to 12th. We've got 13 drivers on the grid tonight. Dan's ran a little bit wide through one of the first S's. This could allow we go back up to 3rd place because Finn has got the move on Toussaint. They're going to go wheel to wheel through the round down towards turn 1. They're going to go side by side as with the straightening speed advantage in the Renault. Toussaint just gets himself ahead. But going into the braking zone of turn 1, who's going to be later on the brakes? Toussaint with the inside line gets the moves done, covers off the inside from Finn, who gets a little bit of a nice tap, or gives Toussaint, a nice tap up the rear, and has to concede 4th place for now. Websons did get the move done on the Scout down, gets up into 12th place, and claims an extra point. That gap out in front has extended by 3 seconds in the last few laps, as Toussaint slowly gaining on his teammate, but has company close behind him. No longer behind him because Finn with a move down the inside has got it done, but Toussaint with a beautiful switchback has got the podium position back in his hands and is up into 3rd place. Finn has to settle for 4th for now. Piero just about staying ahead of Tim, running in 5th and 6th place. The CrowdStrike team running in 6th and 8th place, with Topster closely behind Bon Evil. Toussaint going defensive early in towards the final corner. It looks like Tim's going for a move on Piero as well. Toussaint, can he hold this down the inside, or can Finn work something round the outside with in behind shot? We've got Tim and Piero going side by side in the run down towards turn 1, riding on board with Toussaint. Looking behind, you can see the cars side by side behind, going single file as they make their way in towards turn 1. It looks like Tim's going to try and send one down the inside of Piero, who leaves him the space and has the inside line for turn 2. Can he make this one stick? Can Tim in the Toyota hold it round the outside? He's got the drive, he's got the traction, but he's got Piero's tyres are looking shredded on that Megane. Tim though gets ahead and around the outside for turn 4. Runs a little bit wide onto the AstroTurf. 4 tenths separating the gap between Finn and Toussaint. Piero only a tenth behind Tim. Is he going to go for a move down the inside and towards turn 5? Not on this occasion, but Tim's ran wide, and that's going to allow Piero to send one down the inside. I just saw that in the corner of my eye before I flicked down to the Scout Dam. But Piero up into 5th place. Just looking to see any battles towards the back. Aston and Ted, going side by side on the exit of turn 6 in towards turn 7. Ted with the inside line. Aston breaking so much later than Ted, who gets ahead of the Englishman and maintains 9th place. Tim staying behind Piero for now after going wide at turn 5 in the battle of the 5th place. Does anyone pit? Finn's actually into the pits off of the super soft tyres. Tiger Assassin has been caught by his teammate and is starting to lose time. That Dutchie's lost a lot of time. He lost a lot of time 2 laps ago. He's at a 1 minute 26.9. That cost him 3.5 seconds to the race leaders and everyone else. Not sure what happened there. Topster trying to go for a move down the inside of Bonnie Evelyn towards turn 1, and where does Finn filter out? Just ahead of your Group B champion from last season, Wolfie 907. The Scout down into the pits off of the mediums, and we'll probably go into a set of soft compound tyres. Our closest battle on track is between Bon Evil and Topster. Piero and Tim is also a notable gap to keep an eye on, as Tim has actually got ahead of Piero. And Toussaint now ahead of Tiger. We're going to assume there were team orders in that particular battle. It looks like Tiger got slightly more worn front tyres than his teammate. So a tactical change between these two, and I'm sure a change that's not going to be tactical is this battle for 8th place between Ted and Aston, both drivers wanting to get as many points as they can from this race. I don't think anyone's going to give up the Ghost as easy as if they were teammates. Meanwhile, looking towards these battles, Topster trying to go down the inside of Bonnie Evil, but uses the inside curb, and he hasn't got the best of straight line speed off the exit of the corner. But Bonnie and Topster quickly deciding to dart into the pit lane, reacting to Tim, who decides to box this lap, and Aston follows them all in. But now that we've got a little bit of a break from the action, let's have a replay from the start, and let's ride on board with Tim to see how what the start looked like from his perspective in the middle of the field. So you can hear the engines roaring and the 5 red lights going out. Tim on the mediums, currently in 5th place. He actually got a decent launch, but the second phase didn't seem the greatest. He's got Piero up his inside. Let's look to someone further down. We've got Bon Evil sending one down the inside of a couple cars, going wheel to wheel with Topster. Tim on the outside. Aston making moves round the outside of turn 1. You can see him there in the Toyota. Wolfie and the Scout down going side by side. Aston and Ted going wheel to wheel in the Toyota and the Ferrari. Webson's and Wolfie going side by side. The Scout Dan going for a move down the inside of Webson's. You can see Ted, Dan actually has Wolfie on his outside, and Ted going side by side with Aston. Does he get this move done down the inside and towards turn 5? He sends it in the Ferrari and gets the move done. Aston though holds it around the outside, and good racing from those two, but I don't want to leave on the replay for too long because we've got drivers in the pits, Play Dutchie and Piero boxing off of the softs, as Tim going down the inside of Wolfie after making his pit stop. Bon Evil might try and follow him through. And what's happened to Topster? Has he put in more fuel than Bon Evil? Because the gap is certainly bigger. Now, where does Piero come out? Piero comes out just ahead of Tim. And Topster he's lost time. I'm not sure what's happened there. We were looking at the replay feature from the start. But is Piero ahead of Tim, ahead of Bon Evil, ahead of Topster? But Topster was closer behind Bon Evil when they came into the pits. I'm not sure if there was a mistake or traffic on the outlap. Tiger and Toussaint both deciding to stay out, and Play Dutchie into the pits onto a set of super soft tyres. Finn going onto the soft, which should make the end of this race extremely interesting, with a lot of drivers on different tyre strategies. Tim, Bon Evil and Topster going for the soft tyres. Piero going for a set of the super soft. Piero, in theory, should be quicker on the initial stint, But as the tyre wear kicks in, Tim and Bonnie should come into their hands at the end of this race. We've got a battle at the back between Websons and Wolfie. Wolfie making his pit stop. Websons as well on a lap. As normalities resume, with Dutchy taking the lead of the race and Finn getting the jump on Toussaint, but where's he going to filter out? He's 2.5 seconds behind the German. Tiger's going to come out wheel to wheel 3 wide with Tim and Piero. Piero on the inside, Tiger in the middle. Tim's going to have to try and hold this one round the outside. They're going to go wheel to wheel, door to door. There's contact between the two. I'm not sure if there's contact or lag, but there's lots of door to door banging between the two drivers. Tiger on the inside of Tim. And there's lots of contact. I'm not sure if there's a glitch in the spectator cam. What is happening? They're sideways. I think it must be a glitch because they're still going full throttle. And not too sure, to be honest, what's happening here. But they're still going to go wheel to wheel through the bank, or slightly bank corner of turn 5. Tiger Assassin, though, gets ahead. And is he going to go down the inside of Piero? Indeed he does. They're going to go wheel to wheel through the S's. I think there's the lag coming from Tim's end. It's hard to tell what exactly is going on because Tim is now finding himself in 4th place. The wheel to wheel, Tiger and Piero do the flat out right hander which leads into the final corner. Is anyone going to try and send one down the inside? It's Piero on the inside. Bonnie Evil just taps in behind for now and tries to try and pick up the pieces at the end of this battle. Tiger with a good run round the outside of the final corner, gets up into 5th place. Piero ahead of Bonnie Evil, but for how much longer? Because he's got a good run from the final corner. Is it going to be a send to the inside from turn 1? It is. He's late on the brakes. He gets the move done, covers the inside for turn 2, gets his way up into 6th place. Maybe the super softs aren't working for Piero in this stint. Maybe the super softs aren't the best race tyre to be on. We'll have to wait and see because Dutchy, Toussaint and Tiger are all on the super softs and he's making moves in this race, although Tiger's slightly gone backwards after making his pit stop. A slightly longer stop has cost him a few positions. Maybe he had to put in more fuel than the cars around him, being in the Aston Martin. He's going to try and go around the outside of Tim. He's got a good run going up the hill, but is he close enough to send one to the inside? There's contact, there's door banging between the two. You can see how much damage Tim has on the side of his car. It's not going to affect his performance, but there's a lot of contact. I'm not sure if there's a glitch. If we can get a first person camera, bear with me on this, apologies, if we can get into first person and then we can see what the steering inputs are like. This is so bizarre. Tim's wheel is going straight. They're going to go wheel to wheel in the run down towards turn 1. Just want to keep an eye on this because I think I know what might be the issue. I don't know if they can see each other on track. There is a glitch that Polyphony haven't patched in 2 years of making this game, where drivers in the lobby might not be able to see each other. That would be evident with the scrapes on the side of their cars and the lag that's being produced. I'm just going to try and see if either driver is streaming to clarify. And yes, Tim can't see Tiger on his screen. Well, there's only 7 minutes to go. I don't know if Tiger can see Tim, which is why they're getting the same performance. I'm not too sure what's going on. I don't know if they can see each other on track. But it's Tim in 4th place, Tiger in 5th. But we're well over 50% of the way through the race. It is Play Dutchy who leads this race, from Finn in 2nd to Saint in 3rd, with Tim in 4th, who's ahead of Tiger in 5th, Bonneville in 6th, Pierre in 7th, Tobster in 8th, Aston in 9th, Scout Dan in 10th, Ted in 11th, Webster's in 12th place, and Wolfie in 13th place, only a second behind the Brits, but this battle for 4th place is definitely an interesting one, to say the least. It's Webson's trying to close in on the gap to Ted, who's running in 11th place, but does have a 4/10th penalty which he's yet to serve, but has got 6 minutes left to do so. Ideally he'd want to serve it before Webson's gets closer. He's on a set of the super soft tyres. He might try and close down that 3.5 second gap to the Scout Dan, running in a solid 10th place, 7.5 seconds behind Aston, who has started to fall off the gap to Hobster though. But the gap between Tiger and Tim, still 0.3 of a second as they make their way through turn 1. It's been another Dutchy dominance here in the GT Sport Championship. He has the fastest lap as well and could be taking home maximum points from both races. Can anyone stop this man from winning races at this rate? No we can't. No is the answer. If you think you're quick enough to stop this Play Dutchy alien, then hop on GT Sport. If you can do a 1 minute 22.5 round Lago Maggiore on the set of super soft tyres, times 5 tyres, times 3 fuel depletion, then let me know and we'll get you in as soon as possible. But we've got a little bit of a battle now forming for 11th place between Ted and Websons. Websons has got a good run through on the exit of turn 4 in the run down towards turn 5. Is he going to go for a move down the inside? 2 Ferraris battling away. Ted's left the door open and Websons gets the move done up in towards 11th place. Almost looked like Ted let him go through there, but might have been trying to get a switch back on exit and couldn't quite make it work, unfortunately for him. Meanwhile, Tim's car, I think there's more scraped paint on that car, the same with Tiger Assassin's, and we can't do that, never mind. I was going to try something, but it wouldn't have worked. Wolfie, though, is close to the back of his teammate in the battle for the final point on offer for this race. Points going from 1st to 12th place. What can he do in the run down towards turn 1? He's not going to go for any moves on his teammate just yet. Will we see team orders? It is a battle for a point, but that point might be crucial in their individual championship fights. Ted has got a 10th of a penalty yet to serve. And he's slowly serving it, but he's got his teammate right behind him in the slipstream in the run down towards turn 5. Is he going to go for a move? He hasn't got the best of exits, has Wolfie, so Ted might just keep this for now. We go back up to the battle for 4th place with Tiger behind Tim. Meanwhile, in the background, we've got Bon Evil and Piero going wheel to wheel in the run down towards turn 1. Bon Evil on the inside gets his way up into 6th place. For how much longer, though? Piero with the run. Is he going to go for it down the inside and towards turn 1? Or is Bonnie later on the brakes? Yes, he is. And he maintains 6th position. Tiger Assassin. Sorry, I thought he got ahead of Tim, but is currently still behind. Tim running in 4th place with 2.5 minutes left to go. Battle for 6th place is on though, with Piero and Bonnie running wide through turn 4. And the long run towards turn 5. A really good overtaking opportunity, but it doesn't look like Piero has got the best of runs on his rival. As Wolfie has indeed got ahead of Ted. I wonder if he got it done into turn 1 or earlier. Well, we can see a replay of Ted. Does he go for a move? No, he doesn't. He aids his teammate to try and close the gap to Websons. Well, I mean, it's not the first time I'm going to say it tonight, and it's probably not the final time I'm going to say it this season. It's been a very Dutchy dominant race as he starts lap 21 with a 7.5 second advantage over Finn behind, who has got his fuel light on rather early. Tiger on the inside of Tim, but between these two, it's kind of been more of a time trial than a race. I believe we have the glitch where the drivers can't see each other, and that does confirm it. The ghosting in between, that never happens in this game. So you can see the heavy contact between these two. These are just the different lines that the drivers are taking. I'm not sure, or I don't think there is actually any contact happening on their screen. They just can't see each other, which makes this race but quite weird. It's only now I've noticed it in the past 3 minutes, so it'd be unfair to do a race restart with only 1 minute to go. This could be the final lap. Now I think there'll be one lap after for most of the drivers. This is a time trial between these two. They can't see each other on track. I think it'd be unfair to restart the race. Maybe we'll do a points reduction. I'm not too sure. We'll have to. I'll have to, review the race after to see if they couldn't see each other from the start. Because if they couldn't see each other from the start, I don't know why neither of them, no one said something at the start of the race. But Piero's got a really good run on Bon Evil, who's serving his penalty. That's going to cost him the position to Piero and Topster. Piero going a little bit wide towards the final corner, but promotes Topster up into 7th place. As they go round the final corner, these drivers will start the final lap of the race. But for Aston, this could be his final lap of the race with 10 seconds left to go. It might not be for first place, but he's going to be the first driver to see the checkered flag here in Lago Maggiore, and it's going to be Aston who finishes in 9th place. Meanwhile, we have a battle for 4th place and a battle for 6th. As Bon Evil sends one down the inside of Topster in towards turn 4, but with a beautiful switchback, Topster gets the position back on the exit of the corner. It's McGann versus McGann. Germany versus Britain. We'll have to wait and see who comes out on top. Quickly looking down as Stan finishes in 10th, Webson's in 11th, Wolfie just beating his teammate Ted, who finishes in 12th place. Topster, Piero, so Topster and Bonnie going wheel to wheel into the SS section as Dutchy rounds the final corner for the final time, and it looks like he's going to win here in Lago Maggiore. Bon Evil and Topster still going bumper to bumper as we just go up to play Dutchy, who wins here in Lago Maggiore. Looking down between Topster and Bonnie, they're going to go wheel to wheel. Bon Evil sending one down the inside. Has he broke too late? He has broke too late, because that's Topster back down the inside. It's a drag race to the line between Tim and Topster and Ted. Topster and Tiger, 700 separating those two, but Topster and Bonnie, there's only 500 separating those two. And probably the closest finish we've had in a while. Topster and Tim and Tiger separated by 700. Piero and Topster and Bonnie separated by 500. Too much is happening. I have no idea what's going on anymore. But let's get the race results back up on the screen. Because it's Play Dutchy taking another win in this championship. Finn in 2nd place and Toussaint rounding out the podium in 3rd. Tim finishes in 4th, just ahead of Tiger Assassin, with Piero in 6th. Topster in 7th, narrowly beating Bonnie. It was a late lunge into the final corner from Bonnie, but didn't quite work out in the end. Aston in 9th place beats out the Scout down in 10th, and Webson's in 11th. Wolfie in 12th, and Ted finishes in 13th place, and this will be the only driver who wouldn't finish, who doesn't get a point, with the new point system. Play Dutchy setting the fastest lap of the race. As we'll change it back to Lago, we're going to change the track to Lago Maggiore West, Let's see if this fixes the glitches we had. Let me just at both the drivers in question. At Tiger, at Tim. Let me know. There we go. Apologies about this, guys. Let's see if they can see each other having changed the lobby settings. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in. Yes, the Scout down. You can use a different tyre for this quali. Thank you to everyone tuning in. Let's see if Tiger and Tim can see each other on track. I can see Tiger out on track. Tim, sorry. But can they see each other? We'll have to wait and see. So for anyone who's unfamiliar with this new format, we've got two 10-minute qualifying sessions followed by two 30-minute races for this track and for this race only. Okay, so they can see each other. Apologies about the delay. So we're just waiting for everyone to enter the race and then we should be able to get this one going. So I think Tim might leave and join back the lobby to see if it will help fix the lobby issues we had. In the meantime, whilst we wait for him, we can get an onboard lap with Aston F1 showcasing, actually no, someone's going around the final corner, sorry Aston. Played out G, we'll get an onboard lap from what the Lago Maggiore West track has on offer for us. So it's the same start finish straight as the East course and the run down towards turn 1, although the braking point is slightly later in these throughout this layout. Dutchy just missing the first apex there, but hooks up the second one quite nicely. And where the east variant goes left, you can see there are massive red arrows indicating us to go right. As it's a little downhill dip, this track definitely has much more elevation than the other one, but it's completely flat out between turn 3 and turn 6. You can see here where we'd normally turn right on the east course, we go over and down the hill in towards the banked corner. A key overtaking opportunity, using up all of the curb on the inside, running as wide as you can without going onto the gravel, back up the hill before going into a flat out left right S of turn 7 and 8. and then it's the usual final sector from the original Lago Maggiore course, and that completes a lap. Let's see if everyone's entered the race. We're just going to give the indication to say, are we ready to go? Let's kick this one off. We'll just say a quick message. Can everyone see each other? Just in case. Because you never know. Dan saying he can't see me. There's probably reasons why. Piero the same. I don't think there's time to reply. Let's get this qualifying session underway then for the second time tonight. Here we go then. Qualifying here at Lago Maggiore for the West variant. Hopefully no one gets the pit lane glitch. That would be all the glitches in one evening. We're going to flick through the grid. Everyone actually changing the strategy for the softs, apart from Ted and Tiger on to the purple super soft tyres. Everyone though is out of the pits. Let's have a look at the track. You can see the track map in the top right hand corner of the screen. Removes the entirety of the first sector, or the first two sectors, sorry, from the original layout, and we turn right at turn 3 rather than turning left, which is an entire, well, it's a long flat out straight up until turn 6 and should provide some really good overtaking opportunities. Topster at the head of the train, and I was able to take a screenshot of the previous results so I can update the standings. If you're watching these streams and you don't know where to check the championship standings, head over to our Discord channel. It should be on the website, Gavra Racing, and yeah, the championship standings will be updated every Friday evening after the race, and will be posted in the GT Sports standings chat, which is well, where the GT Sports standings will be. Meanwhile, it is Finn now who has taken ownership at the front of the queue, and will lead the drivers round the final corner for the first time, well, the second time in qualifying, for the first time at this track. The Scout Dan's actually got a really good run on Finn towards turn 1, but decides to tuck in behind the German as they start their first flying laps here at the west side of Lago Maggiore. Tim going down inside of Wolfie in towards turn 1. Almost didn't really look like an orchestrated move there, to be honest, but cleanly in the end. I think Wolfie was backing out of that one, but Dan is going to get a nice toe from the back of Finn, go down the back straight. You can see how much it literally goes down. Here you can't see the hairpin, now you can see the hairpin as it's a steep decline in towards the braking point, roughly 100 metres for the hairpin. You can see the brake discs on fire on that Toyota for Dan, who is staying with Finn on this lap, so it could be a good lap from the Brit if he can keep it within the slipstream of the car in front. You can see the train that forms all the way from Aston down to Topster. Tiger, Toussaint, Dutchy, Bonnie, Piero, Ted, I think, is at the back of the train. Looked like Dan ran slightly wide through the first of the two right-handers before the penultimate corner, running in second place on track, and it has Tim closely behind in second, closing that gap. But Finn in the Alfa Romeo is going to set the first flying lap of the evening. Dan's ran wide through the final corner. What is going to be the benchmarker? It's a 27.5. Dan with a 28, Tim with a 27.1. Aston with a 28 flat, and Topster with 27.8. Dutchy goes up into third place, Toussaint in fourth, lots of times flooding in. Bonnie in sixth, Piero in 8th, Ted in 9th ahead of Webstons in 10th by 6 hundredths of a second, but it is Tim on provisional pole position. With a 1:27.1, that is the time to beat. Duchy, a thousandth, ladies and gentlemen, ahead of Toussaint and Falls. I'm sure he'll be kicking himself if that is the gap at the end of the session, but he's 1.5 tenths up. Your season 1 champion making his way down the hill in towards the hairpin for the second time this evening, for the second time in this qualifying session. Let's keep an eye on, though, on the drivers at the head of the train. Tops are closing in on the back of Wolfie. We'll be getting some dirty air through the corners, but a nice toe down the straights, and it is purple through the middle sector. What about Finn? Currently running in second place, first out on the track. Can he improve on his personal best and close down the gap to Tim in front and put himself on provisional pole position? But we've seen the form that Tim's been on in qualifying. What can Finn do? Does he improve? No, he doesn't. Someone ran wide at the final corner. Tim doesn't improve either. What about Topster, who did get ahead of Wolfie? He does improve, but I think he had a penalty. Toussaint gets himself ahead of Dutchy. Tiger Assassin follows him through, and it's 400ths ahead of Play Dutchy. Webson's 700ths ahead of Dutchy. Behind Dutchy, so where has he pulled out the time from? An outstanding qualifying from Webson's. Wolfie's off at turn 1. I think he was letting drivers go through, but look how close the field is. I'm going to flick through and you can look at the gaps. 3 tenths, 700ths, 1 tenth, 400ths, 700ths, 700ths, 1 tenth, 100th, 300ths, 7 tenths, 3 tenths. This is absolutely outstanding, and if this race is going to be as close as this qualifying session, well, strap yourselves in. I would super glue yourself to the seat and grab an extra large bag of popcorn, because this could be an exciting race. If you're watching this and you know people who aren't, message your friends, message your family, get everyone on this stream, because it's going to be a close and exciting race. Webson's in 6th place. An outstanding job for him on the soft tyres. Bear in mind, Ted and Tiger Assassin both on super softs, trying something different. The BCR Esports team splitting the strategy. Finn and Tim into the pits. Will Tiger and Toussaint follow them in? They both come in, tops the pits, and it's the Scout Dan who stays out and does actually improve. I'm not sure where he qualified. Goes up into 12th place, or maintains 12th place. But it's going to be soft tyres for everyone, super softs for Tiger Assassin. We maintain the rules of being unable to change tyres during qualifying. The train, the slipstream train, forming in the first sector. For everyone who's pitted for a fresh set of tyres, now has to negotiate each other cleanly without holding each other up. But I'm sure the ones at the front will want to get a move on with it, so they don't catch other drivers. The Scout Dan lifting off and letting everyone go through. Everyone, though, not on a lap behind him. I don't think anyone's on a lap. I think everyone came into the pits. Now Aston is on a lap and he's catching up to the likes of Ted, Dan and Piero. So they're going to have to be... this is the dangerous thing about staying out. I know it's not anyone's fault. Dan kind of getting in the way of Ted through the middle sector. I'm not sure how much that would have impeded him. He's got Aston, his teammate, closely behind him, who's on a lap, and he's improving by 2 tenths. And I think Dan kind of getting in the way of this. He lifted off on his lap. Does he know his teammate's there? I'm not sure if there might be a miscommunication between the two teammates. He might be trying to slot in to find a gap. But it looks like he's impeded Tiger. It looks like he's impeded Aston, who has backed up on this lap. It's hard to tell from the spectator cam who is and isn't on a lap. Especially when they're... Well, it's clear when they're on our laps, but it's not so clear how much of an impediment, is that a word, impediment, they are having on another driver. Only the ones behind the wheel can tell. Some incidents, though, are more obvious than others. Riding on board with Ted has the Scout down closely behind him in 12th. giving him a nice bump draft, per se, down the straight. Although Dan's gone wide onto the grass, into the barrier, and thankfully for him, doesn't pick up any damage, but a costly mistake trying to race Ted in qualifying. Qualifying is all about getting the car as high as you can on lap time, not on track. Couldn't quite see Tim's sector splits. Doesn't look like Two Saints improving. What about Play Dutchy, the winner of the first 2 races of the season? Does he improve going through the middle sector in 3, 2, 1? He is. He's purple through the middle sector by only 0.05 of a second. Can Finn, though, rounding the final corner, can he put his Alfa Romeo on provisional pole position? Yes, he can, by 0.03. Does Tim have a response? He does, and goes clear by 1/10.5. Two Saint man wide at the final corner. Tiger's only good enough for 3rd place at the minute. Bonneville in 5th. What about Play Dutchy? Ted up to the line. Piero goes 9th, I think. Play Dutchy only goes 3rd. 1/10 behind Finn. 0.08 ahead of Tiger Assassin. Wolfie goes into 13th place and closes the gap to Dan. And these are the final quali laps here at Lago Maggiore in the west layout. No, the west layout. My apologies, it's been a long day. Someone has stopped on the exit on the entry of turn 4. Looks like someone bailing out of their lap. But everyone on the final lap, it's Tiger Assassin who won't be improving and will start at highest or 4th place. Probably not what he'd be hoping for. Finn is going to be the next driver to settle up. Is he improving? He is through the middle sector. He's 100th up on his time. He needs to find a 10th and a bit more to knock Tim off pole position, assuming the finish driver and no one else is improving behind. He's got nice clean air in the front. No one who can get in his way. He rounds the final corner for the final time. Can he put Italian Glory on pole position up to the line? No, he can't. He doesn't improve. Tim improves and goes 4/10 clear of Finn and tops us next to cross the line. His teammate in 7th place doesn't improve. Does Bonnie improve? So doesn't improve. Toussaint doesn't improve. Does Piero improve? Piero doesn't improve. Webson's doesn't improve. Dutchy doesn't improve. Ted doesn't improve. Is anyone going to improve? Wolfie doesn't improve. Dan doesn't improve. And Aston, what is it with no one improving? No one improved on their final lap, apart from Tim, who starts this race on pole position. 10th clear of Finn in 2nd, who starts ahead of Play Dutchy, who will start this race in 3rd. Ahead of Tiger Assassin in 4th. Toussaint in 5th, ahead of Bonneville in 6th. Tolster in 7th, Webson's in 8th, has Piero and Aston behind in 9th and 10th. Once again, Ted out-qualifying his Irish teammates in 11th and 12th, and I believe it's the Scout Dan who will start this race in 13th position. 5 red lights for the 2nd time this evening for round number 2. Tim on pole, and as the lights out, and away we go. He's got off to a shocking start. Dutchy's already alongside, and Finn's already ahead. Tim from 1st to 3rd has the inside covered for those behind. He's got Tiger trying to go round the outside. Topster, Wolfie on the inside, becomes the outside for turn 2. Ted poking his nose on a few cars. That's 3 wide. Now in front, Tim on the inside at Dutchy. Finn trying to go round the outside. What a move from Finn. Beautiful stuff. Bonneville going wheel to wheel with Toussaint. It's now going to become the inside for turn 5. Outstanding stuff. Dutchy going wheel to wheel with the German. Tiger on the inside of Tim. They're going to go 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 in the run down towards turn 6. They're almost 3 wide with Tiger looking to send one. Webson's on the inside of Bonneville as so many cars going through one tight corner. They're still double file up the hill in towards turn 3. Not turn 3, definitely not turn 3. Turn 7. Tiger on the inside of Tim, who's not got the best of starts in this race. Dutchy already up into 2nd place, challenging Finn. They're still wheel to wheel, door to door. They're 2 by 2. Outstanding start. Finn on the inside, sorry, Dutchy on the inside. Tiger might try and capitalise and go down the inside. He's up into 2nd place. He's not going to be challenging Play Dutchy. They're going to go wheel to wheel. Finn and Tiger. Tim on the inside of Bonneville. Toussaint. They're going 3 wide in the background with Tim Toussaint on the inside of Tim, on the inside of Bonnie Evil, who's ran wide through the final corner. Tim on the inside, Finn on the inside of Play Dutchy, Tiger and Finn going side by side. Topster on the left hand side going down the inside of Toussaint, and Bonnie Evil as well, left 3 wide in the background with Tim on the outside of Topster. Bonnie sending one on the inside of turn 2. Dutchy clear of Tiger for now, with Bonnie and Topster making contact. Topster has been forced wide off the track. That's going to allow Toussaint to go through up into 6th place in the scout down, just settles in to the back of the grid for now, and Topster closely behind Bonnie Evil's got a good run through turn 3. Up the hill they go before the sudden decline. Tiger gaining on your race leader as they make their way down the hill in towards the banked hairpin for the second time this race. Is Tiger going to send one down the inside? Is not quite close enough. Webson's on the inside of Topster, I think that is. Will be making up a few positions as well. That's Tim and Finn going wheel to wheel up the hill in towards turn 7. Finn on the inside, but Tim's going to have the inside for turn 8. Gets the move done up into the podium positions as Tiger hunts down Play Dutchy, 600th, separating the two. Toussaint almost pushing Bonnie Evil through the final sector. Webson's up into 8th place and ahead of Piero. Ted up into 10th. Tiger trying to capitalise on the back of Play Dutchy. Aston Martin versus Ferrari as Finn runs slightly wide through the final corner. That's going to capitalise his run in towards turn 1. A few drivers going wheel to wheel. Piero and Webson's making moves in the run down towards turn 1. What about up in front? No one close enough to send one down the inside. Will be though to the inside of Aston. Can he get this move done for 11th place? We'll have to wait and see. There's a little bit of contact between the two. They're side by side. Ted just ahead of these two. Aston's going to have the outside for turn 3. Wolfie on the inside makes a little bit of contact as he rides the orange sausage curb, but gets the move done up into 10th place. The Gavra in front coming down with the slipstream and the straight line speed of the Aston Martin, but Tiger's not quite close enough to send one down the inside. What about Toussaint on Bonnie Evil? Not close enough either. Piero can't quite get the move done on Webson's as Aston rounds out the back of the grid in 13th. I think he might have made a slight mistake, which has allowed his teammate Dan to get up a position. Look at the gap out in front there. It's a lot closer this time out. Tiger's going to be trying to fight this one as much as he can. Maybe not in the early phase of the stint, however. But on the super softs, you would think he wants to get on with it. Settles in for 2nd place for now, and he knows, well, he's probably got this in the back of his mind, that Tim is going to fight this position. The top the top 5 from 5 different teams representing the colours on their livery. Tim trying to get a move done. Here goes Toussaint on Bonnie Evil, wheel to wheel, when they run down towards turn 1. A few cars going side by side in the background. No one close enough out in front. What about Toussaint and Bonnie? Toussaint gets up into 5th place. What about Piero and Webson's in the battle for 8th place? Piero down the inside. Webson's well the inside for turn 2. Aston on the inside of his teammate as well. We can see Webson's up into 8th place. Aston up into 12th. As Ted's going to try and get involved on the Frenchman in front. Can he get the move done? He's not quite close enough though. The battling between Tiger and Tim has lost them a lot of time to Play Dutchy. Now 7/10 is the gap, but it looks like the Aston Martin's got a little bit more straight on speed. Maybe Tiger might be regretting not going for some of those earlier moves and the opportunities he had earlier on in the race. The front 13 separated by 8 seconds. That just goes to show how close this field is. And Toussaint's caught up to the back of Finn already, who's 1.5 seconds plus behind him. Gap between 3rd and 4th place. Looks like Toussaint wants to get on with this and try and get past as soon as possible. In the background, Piero trying to go for a move on the inside of Webson's in towards turn 9. Can he get this one stick? Gets the move done up into 8th place, and he's got 3 seconds to close down. Topster in front. Tiger doing a good job managing that gap to Play Dutchy, and he's almost been forced wide off the track. They're going wheel to wheel with him and Tim. I'm not sure if we got the glitch again between those two. It doesn't look like it. Hopefully they'll let me know in the chat if it does happen again, and if we're still within 50% of the race covered, we'll try and get a race restart for the drivers affected. Meanwhile, it's carnage at the back with Ted. So Aston going down the inside of Wolfie. He couldn't quite get the move done. Dan might try and go for a move on the inside of his teammate. Meanwhile, Tiger's lost a lot of time to Tim, who's gained a lot on play Dutchy. I'm not sure if Dutchy's made a mistake, but the gap has certainly come down quite a lot. Looking down the rest of the field, the gaps are so close, I don't know who to watch. Tim only 2/10 behind your race leader, and he's going to fight this one as hard as he can. Meanwhile, Toussaint and Finn going side by side up the hill of turn 7 into 8. Toussaint's got the move done up into towards 4th place. Is Bonnie going to send one to the inside of turn 9? You bet he is. To the inside of the Alfa Romeo. I think the Alfa Romeo could just be struggling on the tyres in the early phase of the race, but Bonnie Evil has got the move done. If you're just tuning into this race, you missed the most chaotic start you're ever going to see in a league race. Here goes Tim, gaining so much on the back of play Dutchy, fighting for the lead of this race. Toyota versus Ferrari. Is he going to send one down the inside and towards turn 1? No, not quite. Dutchy just later on the brakes. Finn though, wheel to wheel with Topster, who goes defensive to the inside. Finn trying to go for a move on Bonnie, while Topster's trying to go for a move on Finn. Absolutely chaos. Biblical scene, some may say, as Wolfie gets ahead of Dan for 11th place, who sends one down the inside. I thought there was going to be contact between the two. We turn back to the front two. Tiger, I think, is struggling on his super soft tyres. He tried something different. It's working so far. He's in 3rd place, but he's just lost touch of the top two. Can Tim send one down the inside and towards the hairpin? Dutchy, though, has it covered. Just about. Meanwhile, Bonnie and Finn now going side by side into the hairpin. Bonnie just has the upper hand in that battle, as Ted is 3/10 ahead of his teammates for the battle for 10th place. Tim closing in on the back of Dutchy. Finn closing in on the back of Bonnie Evil, has Topster closely in pursuit behind. There are battles everywhere you look on this track. One that might have to be included in future races, because I thought it would provide great action, but I didn't think it'd be this good. And there's Tim working with the enemy to try and pull ahead of Tim. This is outrageous. Coming into turn 1, not close enough or alongside to go for a move. Just looking down to the rest of the field, we've got Aston closely behind Dan, is closely behind Wolfie as they make their way into turn 1. Here goes Dan to the inside of the Irishman. Wolfie leads him the room, goes a little bit deep in towards turn 1. That's going to compromise his line in towards turn 2. Dan's going to try and work something around the outside, forces Wolfie to the inside, who's going to get a good run in the run down towards the hill, but Ted's ran wide and off the track. No, I think that was just lag, apologies, as he maintains 10th position. Although I don't think it was lag, because Wolfie and Dan's ran off the track. They've ran wide. I'm not sure if there was contact between the two. Neither of them have damage as it seems, but that was a really bizarre incident between those two drivers. And that demotes them down into 12th and 11th, 13th place. Meanwhile, Aston trying to go for a move on Ted, who parks his car in the middle of the track, not allowing the Brit to go through. Great defensive stuff from Ted, who's getting some good points for the team, running in 10th place. Not as many as last season, but it is still crucial points, with points being reduced in this championship. And points that I'm sure Tim would want to take away from Dutchy, as they pulled out a 2.2 second gap to Tiger behind. The front two are really pulling away with this one out in the opening phase of the race. I'm sure for Tim's sake he's hoping that Dutchy doesn't pull away. For my sake as well, I really don't want to see Dutchy winning another race. No bias there. Here goes Topster going for a move down the inside of Bonnie Evil. A little bit of door banging between the two, but no one's forced off the track. Bonnie's gone a little bit deep on the entrance of turn 2. That's going to allow Topster to set himself up for a good move. He can ride on board with the German, but Bonnie's got a little bit out of shape on the orange sausage curb, and Topster with the run down the hill. Meanwhile, back up to the top 2. Are we going to see any moves for the lead of the race? Tim might be saving fuel. He's got more fuel than Dutchy. Topster though, I don't think he's holding anything back. Going into the hairpin, pulls over to the inside, tucks back over to the racing line though. Looking further down the grid. I've accidentally opened up the chat. I'm getting that excited on the keyboard that I'm pressing buttons here, there and everywhere. Dutchy continues to lead this race after starting in 3rd place. Meanwhile, Tobster almost pushing Bon Evil through the middle sector of this track. The 2 Renault Megans running in 4th and 5th place as Two-State makes up the highest. Renault Megane, Bon Evil runs wide. That's going to allow Tobster to try and go through on the inside. Bonnie's going to try and fight this one back, but Card tucks in behind for now. And a costly error, costing him the position. They're 3 wide at the back without Dan getting 2 moves in one corner. Ted and Wolfie exchanging positions. Ted now drops to 13. No idea if there was contact there. But that's allowed Dan to get up into 11th place. Ted gets a 5/10 penalty. Dives into the pits to see have damage. No damage. But wants to get off those super soft tyres. ASAP. Might even go into the mediums. But I think softs could go to the end. We'll have to wait and see. Finn has caught up to the back of this battle. I'm not sure if there was a mistake from Finn, or if he's always been in 7th place. I always lose track in their positions. But Tim stays in 2nd place for now. He's not close enough to go for any moves. What about Finn on Bon Evil? 2 tenths behind going into the hairpin. Wolfie not close enough to go for a move on the Scout Dan. Meanwhile, Two-State getting ahead of Tiger Assassin. I'm sure that was an orchestrated move to try and work their way back up towards the top step of the podium, with Tim and Dutchy putting out almost a 4-second gap to the 2 cars behind. The midfield, though, is separated by about 5 iPhones. The Tobster at the head of the train. Bon Evil running wide onto the grass is going to allow Finn to try and get a good run, pull up alongside the Renault Megane. You can see, you can no longer see the Megane riding on board of Finn because he's on the inside. He's late on the brakes, but is he late enough with Bon Evil sending one round the outside? Becomes inside for turn 2. Is Finn going to hold this one round the outside? He's going to try and get a good run going down the hill and make use of the heavy braking zone down at the hairpin, but his rear tyres are absolutely shot. I just turned my attention fairly quickly back up to the battle for the lead of the race. Tim saving fuel behind Clay Dutchy to try and close the gap down. What about Bonnie and Finn, though? They're going side by side down the hill in the run down towards the hairpin. They're going to go wheel to wheel. Can Bon Evil go around the outside? Not quite. There's a little bit of door banging between the two, but Finn is able to get up a position into 6th place. Thanks for all the comments from last week's race about the little bit of added expression for any moves round or down the inside. It's going to be something I'm going to do more often now. Just, if it looks like it's going to be a good move, we're going to put effort into it. All moves are good, obviously, but if it's fairly simple, we're going to go, for example, Bon Evil's going down the inside. Obviously, we're not that much. There'll be more excitement to it. You'll see in the future. Finn looks like he's going to dart into the pits, and Bon Evil's going to follow him in. Piero stays out. Webson's staying out as well. Aston does decide to follow them into the pits, and Dan stays out. The front 2 on the pace. Tim with a little bit more pace with the fastest lap of the race. Couldn't quite find anything else to rhyme, but they pulled out a 4.5-second gap for the 2 BCR drivers behind. Can he go for a move in towards the hairpin? Is he going to send one to the inside? He's not close enough to go for a move on the 3-time and reigning champion of the GT Sport League. The gap's still so close, although pit stops have been made which have slightly extended the gaps in the midfield, but only 1/10 separating the top 2. Can Tim deny Dutchy of picking up a hat-trick of wins at the start of this season? We're 2 rounds in, 3 races in. Well, this is the 3rd race after the additional concept format that we are running for this race, and for this race only trying something different. We got another one at all 3 Sardinias. Dutchy's late into the pits, almost hit the pit wall on the inside as we got Finn ahead of Bon Evil on outlaps. as drivers come into the pits. Let's get an action replay of the start of the race, and we'll have a look at someone towards the midfield, just so we can get a good perspective of the entire field. And now this was absolute carnage, but in a good way. It's lights out and away we go. You can see Topster bogging down in 7th place. He didn't get the best of starts either, on board with Piero. Yeah, if we get a third person shot from the back of the grid, you can see Ted going down the inside of his teammate. They're 3 wide up in front. Topster around the outside of Websons, and Dutchy and Tim 3 wide with Finn, who goes round the outside. A beautiful move from Finn. Toussaint and Bonnie going side by side in the run down towards the hill. They're going side by side once again, 2 by 2 by 2. As we ride on board with Finn and look behind, you can see the carnage that unfolds behind Dutchy on the inside. Tim and Tiger going side by side. There's Toussaint and Websons, Piero and Topster. It's an absolutely outstanding start. This is the move that got played Dutchy up into the lead of the race, down the inside of the hairpin. Tim and Tiger Assassin going wheel to wheel. The race leaders continue to go wheel to wheel up the hill. They were 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. And an absolutely outstanding start. If you're watching this back on YouTube or even on Twitch, I'm sure you can go back and watch the race start. But here is just a nice replay, a little bit more relaxed now. And looking at some drivers towards the back of the grid. There were 3 wide, Bonnie, Tim, Dutchy, Finn. It was absolutely chaotic. Here's just a nice replay. Toussaint on the inside. He kind of got left out to dry. Tim did give him the room. And he went 3 wide on exit, and I mean, look at that. That is just a screenshot and a half. If you want a wallpaper, 3 wide towards turn 1. Topster, Toussaint, Websons, Bon Evil, Tim getting involved as well. But they're going to cut back to the live action just so we don't miss anything. Anything's important. Toussaint though has got an advantage to Tiger behind, 2.7 seconds. It looks like Toussaint's working the soft tyres, super softs, sorry, better than Tiger's working the softs. Obviously the super softs are the quicker tyre, but do degrade and wear out faster. Not ideal for those on the super softs. Closest battle on track is the battle for the lead. Tim couldn't get the overcut on Play Dutchy. He rejoins out in the lead of the race, but it must have been a good lap for the gap to be as close as it is. It's really close going into the hairpin. Webson's only a second ahead of Wolfie, a second ahead of the Scout Dan, but only a 10th separating the battle out in front. Ten minutes left to go. Dutchy's ran wide and he's onto the grass. This could be the gift that Tim needs. He's side by side with Play Dutchy in the run down towards turn 1. He's going to go for it down the inside and towards turn 1. He's late on the brakes. Can he slow it down in time? Yes, he can. And he started this race on pole position and he's back up on the top step. But there is still a long way to go. 10 minutes to be exact. Wolfie gaining on the back of Websons. He's gained 4/10 in the last sector. It doesn't look like though he's going to go for a move in towards turn number 1. He has set a new personal best. On board of Play Dutchy. Not the calm we need. He's going to go for it down the inside on Tim. They're going to go wheel to wheel down the hill in towards the hairpin. The banked corner. Tim late on the brakes. Going to try and hold it round the outside. Takes a wider line to get a good slingshot on the exit of the corner. He's got a really good run going up the hill and towards turn 7 and turn 8. Is he close enough though to try something in towards turn 9? Dutchy using the racing line, parking his car in all the right places, and Tim doesn't decide to send one to the inside. Dutchy takes control and promotes himself back up into the lead of the race, but the fine margins separating these two. Blankets can be thrown over the two cars, separated by a 1/10 of a second. 6 seconds clear of the rest of the field. These two have been on fire in this race, and the heat is only just intensifying as we start lap 15. Tim tucks in behind for now. He doesn't go for a move in towards turn 1. Almost pushes Dutchy through the apex. Just looking down on the rest of the field to trying to give everyone equal opportunities for screen time. I know how well, as a driver, You do like seeing yourself on the stream, giving everyone as much recognition as they can. Tim's lost a little bit of time to Dutchy though. You do fear that Tim might not go for one of these overtake opportunities. Could let Dutchy slip away. This is the best chance all season so far of him winning a race and denying Dutchy of picking up another 25 points to add to his championship lead. He's got a good run up the hill though. Does he send one to the inside? I don't think he will do. Down towards turn 9. Meanwhile, the battle for 9th place is still well and truly on, with Webson's only 9 tenths clear of Wolfby behind, who's kind of pulling out the gap to the Scout Dan, but not all too dramatically. I've got something stuck in my keyboard, which was almost preventing me from spectating Dutchy. He was a little bit deep in towards the apex of turn 1. That might cost him time, if anything, actually. It's gained him a little bit of time on Tim, who could be saving fuel. He's got less fuel than Dutchy. I'm not sure if he's got enough. It looks like he's got enough. Similar amounts between the top two. Finn gaining on the back of Tiger. Both drivers though picking up 5 time penalties as Topster is down in 12th place. I'm not sure what happened to Topster. That cost him all the time. He set 1 minute 48. Did he get damage that cost him an extra pit stop potentially? I think that might be the case with Topster, which is why he's down in 12th place. We're looking at the replay a few minutes ago from lap 1, which could be the reason why he's made another stop. Dutchy though is under significant amount of pressure from Tim. Ferrari versus Toyota, Italian manufacturing versus Japanese, but it's Dutch versus Finland in this battle for the lead of the race. Tim continues to go purple on this lap. He is pushing the limits of the Toyota as much as he can to try and get ahead of the Ferrari. They continue to pull away from Tiger and Toussaint in 4th and 3rd respectively. Tiger now under pressure from Finn. Those super softs working better than the softs, although Tiger softs are going to come into play towards the end of the race. We'll try and watch both battles. 6 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock. 2:10 separating the front two. Tim sets a new fastest lap of the race, and if he can keep it by the end, we'll take home an extra championship point. Finn alongside Tiger Assassin, the run down towards turn 1. The Alfa Romeo going down the inside of the Aston Martin. Who's later on the brakes? Tiger has it covered around the outside, maintains 4th position. Finn's going to try and set himself up though for a move in towards the banked corner of turn 7. Can Tim get himself up into the lead of the race? He's been trying all race long, but that Toyota just doesn't have the straight line speed advantage he needs. He's lifting and coasting a little bit. I think that's just to avoid hitting the back of the Dutchman in the braking zone. Apologies, but Tiger Assassin just ahead of Finn for now. Looks like Finn might have made a mistake at the hairpin. He's lost a little bit of time. Now 9 tenths behind the Brit. 5 minutes left to go. We've got about 3 or 4 laps of racing here at Lago Maggiore to finish round 2. Tim taking the narrower line, and he's got the run. He's got the overspeed, but can he get the move done? The straight line speed just isn't there on the Toyota. He's trying his best. I fear he's going to have to do a move under braking. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it could end in catastrophe if not done correctly. Wolfie losing time to Webson's. It looks like the gap's opening up. Tops has got his way past the Scout Dan and up into 11th place. Meanwhile, look at the gap between the top two. It's 800ths of a second. This could be Tim's best overtaking opportunity. I think he could be waiting for the last lap because I think he knows that Ferrari's quicker in a straight line, but he's going to go for it. He pulls over to the right hand side of the track. Dutchy defends. He's going round the outside. Late on the brakes. There's a little bit of contact between the two. Can he make this one stick? He's going to poke a bumper in on the outside, but Dutchy just enough keeps his car in front, has him covered. These two battling away, but still able to extend their gap to the cars behind. It's going to need a crash from these two if Toussaint's going to win this race. Meanwhile, the fourth place is still undecided, with Tiger battling away with Finn. But I'm sure the gloves are off now between these two. We've only got 3.5 minutes left to go. This race started with drama, and it's going to end in drama, with the front two separated by 0.2 of a second. Tim, starting this race on pole position, will be hoping for a hat-trick here tonight of a win, pole and fastest lap. Currently has 2 of them. He's going to go for it down the inside and towards turn 1. He's late on the brakes, right to the inside curb. He's not quite far enough ahead to go for it in towards turn 2. Dutchy has him covered. But for how much longer though? Because it's a nice long straight in the run down towards turn 7, which Tim, in the slipstream, is probably his best overtaking opportunity, but the lack of straight line speed from the Toyota is going to make it difficult for him. He's going to go for it though with the slipstream. I'm noticing a move in towards turn 1 for 10th place. Apologies, Topster and Morphy, but we're going to pay attention to Tim trying to go round the outside of Play Dutchy in towards turn 1. He's going to try a switchback move on the exit of the corner. Can he get this one stick with a good run up the hill? Pokes his nose in behind, has given Dutch a little bit of a bump draft, not really anywhere to go, as Tiger and Finn battling for 4th place. We've only got 2 minutes left to go. Less than a 10th separating the top 2. Dutchy's run a bit deep. That's going to allow Tim to go down the inside in towards turn 10, in towards turn 11, the penultimate corner. Tim on the outside, Dutchy on the inside. 1 corner to go, but 2 laps follow after this one. Tim on the outside. Can he get this one stick in towards the run down towards turn 1? If this was the final lap, what a drag race to the line this would be. Assuming it is the final lap of the race, Tim would get it by 200th, but it's not, because they're going to go wheel to wheel once again in towards turn 1. Both equally late on the brakes. Tim later around the outside and towards turn 1. Gets the move done in turn 2. Promotes himself up into the lead of the race. But that Ferrari though is going to be putting him under significant amount of pressure. Runs a little bit wide onto the grass, but it has the straight line speed advantage to get the move done into the braking zone. You can see how much the Ferrari gaining on the Toyota. They're now going to go wheel to wheel, door to door in the run down towards turn 7. Noticing the gap that Finn has overtaken Tiger Assassin, and Dutchy has got back ahead of Tim, who might send one to the inside, but he's not quite close enough. I don't know if Tim, or I don't know what's happened to Tiger. He's lost a lot of time to Finn. Dutchy though narrowly ahead of Tim. Nothing, half an atom separating the top 2. They've been separated by this gap for the entirety of the race. The only time was when they were on their starting grids and making their pit stops at different times. Other than that, it's been an absolutely outstanding race for the lead. But with only 1 lap to go, who's going to claim victory here at Lago Maggiore? Can Tim get a hat-trick? Can Dutchy get a hat-trick of wins in the opening 3 rounds, or 3 races of this championship? They start the final lap, lap 21, 7.5 seconds clear of Toussaint behind. Neck and neck, bumper to bumper. Tiger's lost time. I'm not sure what's gone on there, but Bonnie and Piero close to one another, as they're going to be the final 2 drivers to cross the line. I don't think Webson's is going to make it. All eyes though turn our attention to the battle for the lead of the race. Only a few corners left to go. Webson's finishes in 8th place. Here goes Dutchy, defends the inside line. Tim there on the inside. Is he going to send one late on the brakes? Not quite. Dutchy's later on the outside. Tim on the inside gets a good run going up the hill in towards turn 7. There's only 5 corners left to go. Dutchy marginally in front. Can Tim secure this? Can he find one last trick in the bag to get a hat-trick, or is it going to be a hat-trick of wins going to the Netherlands? There's a few corners to go. Tim on the inside of Play Dutch in towards turn 10. A little bit of contact though. Dutchy's going to have the inside line. They're wheel to wheel with 1 corner to go. I can't call this. Dutch is going to have the inside advantage. Can Tim hold this one round the outside? There's going to be a drag race to the line. Looks like Dutch is going to get it though. I don't think Tim could buy this one back, but it's going to be Play Dutchy who wins here in Lago Maggiore. Takes his 3rd win in a row, the 2nd of the season in terms of race wins at different rounds. Meanwhile, the race, the battle for 6th place is not over yet, because here goes Piero on Bonevil. But I think Bonnie's got it covered. Tim finishes in an unfortunate, unlucky, but well fought 2nd place. And wow, that was closer than anticipated at the end. Bonnie in 6th. We'll go through the grid at the end of the race, because honestly, I'm out of breath and so gutted for Tim there at the end. But it's Play Duchy who wins the 3rd race in a row, 2nd race of the season, and kicks things off in the same way he finished last season. Here are your race results, and we can now take time to digest what just happened. Play Duchy wins here in Lago Maggiore and takes home maximum points from today. Tim in 2nd place just loses out in an unfortunate 2nd place, but those two are absolutely on fire, beating Toussaint by 8 seconds in the end, who takes home another podium. Finn finishes ahead of Tiger Assassin, who finishes in 5th place. Bonevil just beating Piero to the line. I think Bonevil actually ran out of fuel, as I think Piero hit Bonnie at the end, got damage. But it's Webson's in an amazing 8th place, with Aston in 9th, Topster in 10th, Wolfie in 11th, the Scout Dad in 12th place, and Ted finishing in 13th place, and will be scoring no points from the first 2 rounds. I hope everyone enjoyed. No, I don't want to leave the lobby. But Gav, if you're watching this, then I'm not going to be able to do commentary for the next 2 weeks, because my throat is going to be absolutely on fire. Incredible stuff. Hands down the best race of the season. Suzuka was good, was great. Lago Maggiore East was good. This race was on another level. It would have been a step higher if Tim won. Everyone tuning into the stream now, just as we're about to end. That is typical, but welcome everyone, and hello to all those who did tune in for this race, well, the 2 races we had tonight. I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed this one, and next week we will be at a track that I definitely know off the top of my head, yes, if Waffle, Monza, we're at Monza next week, but we've got a bit of a twist, because what I'm going to do next week is I'm going to pick up the first chicane and we're going to remove it. We've got Monza with no chicane next week in the old F1 cars, the F1 500 as it's known in this game. That should be one hell of a race. If you're watching this live or on YouTube and you're not tuning in next week at 8 o'clock GMT or 9 o'clock CET, then you are missing what will be the best race of the season. I'm calling it Monza, no chicane, old F1 cars, where Curva Grande is turn 1. Who doesn't want to see that? Anyway, time to end the stream with Duchy taking home 3 race wins this season, winning the first 2 rounds, and takes home maximum points, all but 1 he's missed out on, and that is Tim's fastest lap. But good evening, good night, good morning from wherever you watch this in the world, and I'll see you all next week. Goodbye.